All right, so we're factoring. So two numbers that multiply together be negative 20, add together be negative 1, and that's negative 5 and 4. That should have been the easy factoring. Difference of two squares. Square root of that one, square root of that one. One's positive, one's negative. Should be that fast. Common factor. They each have a 5 in it. Pull the 5 out. Divide that by 5, divide it by 5. That's how you get the 2x and the minus 3. Always look for the common factor first. Each term has a 6x in it. So I pull out the 6x. And that's what's left in each term. So 6x times 6x squared would be the 36x cubed. 6x times the negative x would give you the negative 6x squared. 6x times negative 1 gives you the negative 6x. Okay, then all I have to do is factor this part. So you can make a little generic rectangle if you like. 6x squared and a negative 1. Two numbers multiply together be negative 6x squared and add together be negative 1. So that would be 3x and 2x. This one would have to be negative. Common factor. Common factor. 3x times what is negative 3x? And that would be minus 1. 2x times what is 2x? That's 1. And that's how I got those two guys. Common factor, 5. Pull it out. Now I just factor this part. That's the easy factoring since there's a 1 in front of the x squared. Two numbers multiply together be negative 40. Add together be negative 6. And that's the 4 and the negative 10. Find the roots. The x-intercepts of those ugly guys. Substitute 0 in for y. Substitute 0 in for y. Then I solve it by factoring. And that's how I get my negative 10 and my positive 2. There's positive 2. There's negative 10. And the y-intercepts at 0, negative 20. Draw my parabola. X-intercept at 1, 0. So that means I have x minus 1 in the equation. 4, 0. That tells me I have an x minus 4. So then I just multiply these two guys together to get this form of the equation. Flipping it. Flip, 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 flip. Factoring. Solve for x using factoring. So I'll have x equals. Get it equal to 0. Factor. So x minus 10 equals 0, so 10 works for x. X plus 5 equals 0. That means negative 5 works. Factor this guy. Add the 2 over, divide by the 3. That's how I get the 2/3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 0 times anything is 0, so negative 3 also works. For some reason, this is the hardest one for everyone. It's just the common factor. What do both of those guys have in common? They both have an x in it. I pull out the x. Then I have x equals 0 or x plus 7 equals 0. Well, negative 7 makes that true. First one is no solution because I have 25 minus 40, which is a negative number. And I can't take the square root of a negative number. So there's no solution to that one. This one, here's my a value, my b value, my c value. So it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So 7 gets plugged in for the b, and that's how I get the negative 7. 7 squared is the b minus 4ac. So that negative times that negative makes it a positive. This is 40 plus 49 gives me the 89. And then this is all calculator work. Negative 7 plus the square root of 89 divided by 4 gives me 6.1. Guys, pay attention. Then negative 7 minus the square root of 89. And hit it equals and then divide by 4 and you get the negative 4.1. Most people did very well on this problem. Add or subtract 3x from each side. That's how I got the negative 6x here. Subtract 6 from both sides. That's how I got the 12. When I divide by that negative 6, the inequality will flip. So that's why it's changed. And x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So that's a filled-in circle because it's equal to. And x is greater, so all these numbers are greater than negative 2. So I shaded in that side. Combine like terms, subtract 2x. That's how I get the 3x. Divide by 3, the inequality stays the same because it wasn't a negative. Open circle because it's not equal to it. And x is greater, so it's all the numbers that are greater. It wasn't in y equals form, so I solved for y. Divide by 4, divide by 4. And I knew my y-intercept's at 0, 3. Slope is up 3 over 4, up 3 over 4, or go down 3, back 4. And the y is greater than all that stuff, so I shaded the top part where the y's are all greater. Y-intercept's at 4. Slope is negative 2. Go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Y is less than or equal to because it's solid. Shaded underneath, so the y is less than.